President Biden has decided to turn the tables on Donald Trump, who of course has repeatedly said that President Biden is slipping in his old age and doesn't know where he is half the time. But Biden decided this week to turn Trump's own attacks against him. And he tweeted out an ad that featured multiple gaffes and a lot of just random word vomit from Donald Trump that included, by the way, attacks from Nikki Haley pointing out how clearly cognitively impaired Donald Trump truly is. And Biden didn't have to do much. All he had to do was take Trump's own words and use them to show the public that this is clearly a man who's not quite all there anymore. Biden just had to add, "I'm President Biden and I approve this message." And in case you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. And here it is.
Last night, Trump is at a rally.
You know, Nikki Haley.
And he's going on and on mentioning me multiple times as to why I didn't handle January 6th better.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people. They don't want to talk about that.
I wasn't in office then. They're saying he got confused.
You have voter ID to buy a loaf of bread. You have ID to buy a loaf of bread. What? I'm driving over a road where it's almost all paper. And you know, you can see paper. I know paper. I know cans. But all the time now we see whales washing up on shore because of the wind. Our veterans don't have cell phones, do they?
He got confused. He got confused and said he was running against Obama. He never ran against Obama.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
Obama he doesn't want to talk about it.
Well, you mean President Biden. So,
Don't put our country at risk like this.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
What I love about it, as I said again, Biden doesn't have to add anything to it. He just has to put out, obviously, the "I'm President Biden, I approve this message." He's just letting Trump do the talking. Just letting him ramble on, just letting him sound like an idiot, letting him make the mistakes, and showing it to the country. And adding in the parts where Nikki Haley herself is calling him out, saying, "Uh-oh, not the kind of guy we want running the country." I think it's a pretty powerful ad. In fact, I want to see it more than just on Twitter where President Biden posted this. This should be on televisions. This should be reaching the average American voter that's probably not following President Biden on Twitter, right? I mean, these are the kinds of things the Democratic Party needs to put on TV, because that is still the primary source for people to get their political news. And I think more people need to see this, because there's no question about it. Donald Trump has made so many mental mistakes, if you want to call them mistakes, in recent weeks that you have to talk about his mental competency. You know, the last couple years, we have seen article after article after article, even in some left-wing websites. Hell, we've talked about it here at Ring of Fire, where President Biden doesn't seem like his old self, right? Okay, well, if you're going to talk about that, you have got to talk about what is happening with Donald Trump. This is not normal. This is not typical. Something has happened. I don't know if it's, an underlying illness, possibly a genetic disease maybe he has, or maybe it's just all of the stress from the trials and all the horrible things happening in his life that is causing his brain to just not work properly anymore. But there's no denying that it's not working properly anymore. And the public needs to be aware about that. As Donald Trump continues to try to paint President Biden as the guy that has no idea where he is at any given point, it's important for Biden to hammer Trump on this issue and remind the voters that, yeah, Biden might be a little bit slower than he used to be, but his brain is clearly still better than Donald Trump's. Ring of Fire is just a few subscribers short of hitting that 1 million subscriber milestone. So if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so and stay up to date with all of the latest from Ring of Fire.